it's like chasing a rabbit down a hole. I don't know that you're ever going to get perfect level, but the only thing I could do is try. Do you need to? All aboard. Starting to work on the risers and inclines now, and taking a look at this. I had Dave FR. I'll put his thing up here. He gave me some ideas of mounting my level to I tried it on a 6-inch ruler, and that'll work good on the track, but what I needed was something a little bit wider to check all these risers. And what I found, when you take a look at this, is these risers all the way around already are not level. Right there's level. There's not level. I'm gonna jump up here to the top just to give you an idea. Not level. Pretty close to level, so you can see that it's hit and miss all the way around this. With an abundance of caution, I've elected to go ahead at every level, since I'm not in a hurry, and level these. So this, if you're careful, and lightly go over it, you can take off just a light dusting of this stuff. It's 120 grit sandpaper on there too. And it works pretty quick. Not that I'm looking for speed, but I'm looking for taking these sides down where I can get this thing level all the way across. I want it somewhere near the bubble, in the bubble, all the way around. Well, I don't know what the issue is, whether it's the old substrate here that I'm building on, or the use of some of the older cleaner risers, or just this dented up foam on the bottom end that's causing this whole thing to be just kind of out of whack. I've got it all put back semi near the center all the way through on this side, and without that high-speed sander, that would have been a bit of a chore. Makes a big mess, but at least it's pretty close. It's closer than what it was a while ago. Okay, I'm not sure that you can see this, but the gap, what I did was right there where you're looking, at the number 6 is right where the decline stops and it goes to 1 inch flat level. What I'm doing is I'm going to go 6 inches back up, and I'm going to put the ruler, and you can see the gap, and I'm going to run this whole 20-inch ruler down, and I'm going to fill that gap in so that it's a nice smooth from there down to about that 16-inch mark. Well, taking my foam putty and taking this decline right here, I've put a little foam putty on top of it. You have to fill in all those grooves first and let that kind of dry in. I used my 10-inch knife, and I put some 5 inches on either side, and just went like so, and it got it pretty close. And I may have to do it again once it dries, but I just used a 10-inch knife. Somebody told me 4 to 6 inches on either side. I got a 10-inch knife, so 5 and 5 is gonna have to do. And it looks pretty good. We'll have to go with that. This foam putty, at about $10 a container. Let me show you. This stuff right here, I think it was 10 or 12 bucks for a little thing like this. It doesn't last long. And if you go pushing that in here to level these up, and it goes and fills up all these cracks, you're just wasting it. So what I liked to do, I just needed some filler. Started using this Sculptamold, and I just pushed it down in all that, left it dry for a couple days, and then took the DA sander to it back down to the foam. And now at least that foam stuff I can build up on that. I don't have to push all that foam down inside there. I'm not losing a bunch of it. Well, this one's actually looking pretty good. This is a 10-inch knife. Actually, it's all looking really good through here. This one's looking good, but this putty, it takes 24 hours for that stuff to set up. I mean, if you touch it before that, it goes wonky. My other one, decline, is right here, and it's looking really good. And my last decline is right here, and it's looking really good. The rest of these were really just a knockdown of the top, and I got all the bridges fitted. I had to make my things to fit these bridges down in. Of course, ran into a glitch there too. The bridge has to be raised up a little bit for this foam, so I'm not going to be able to put this track down and run it on just the risers because I won't have bridges. So I'm just going to take care of these risers and everything as far as I can get them. Then I'm going to put the cloth down to stiffen these up, and then I'm going to put the foam down, and then I'm going to put the track on and then try it. I probably, well, you know what, at least I could fix it if something does happen. I could go back and fix it at that point, but it's not too far gone at that point to do anything about it. I did put a bunch of my extra foam that I needed in there just to get it out of the way, because I do have some tunnels. I have a couple of tunnels that I'm going to be putting in, and I needed the basis for those. So I'm going to use my old tunnels out of the old thing. So I'll just fix them up and stick them in here. As you can tell, I've had to make some big decisions. These risers on top of this foam that just, I mean, it was glued and it was stable, but it seemed after I did all of my sanding, they just seemed to still have a little flex to them. So what I went ahead and rolled the bones on is I wanted to go ahead and make this structure. Every one of these risers was perfectly level using my washer and bubble method. They were all perfect. All the bridges was all perfectly put in. And then I went ahead and just put my plaster cloth on. And that plaster cloth, if you take a look at what it's done, it seems that at every level that you do something to these risers, if you look at what happened, the cloth has now deformed the top of these to not be level again. You can see that now, although it was perfect when it started, it's note right there, it's looking pretty good. So what that'll do for me is I'm going to go back through again in every one of these areas. I'm going to go ahead and smooth out now. The other thing that I've done is I've pre-wired. I've run wire down through, and I kind of got talked to a little bit about too many drop wires. So what I elected to do is I went ahead and put 1, 2, 3 on this side and 1, 2, 3 on the other side. 1, 2, 3 on the other side. And I'm going to try just the 3 on one end and 3 on the other end for now, and then I'll go ahead and run what I need to run on the front separately. Hopefully those will not. If not, if all else fails, I'll just run some more drops later, but it won't be as easy, but it can be done. And now I'm going to get to sanding on the tops of these things, and between sanding on them and putting some more plaster down, we'll see if we can't get these level, and I'll show you when I get done again. And just for other purposes here, you see I put a double row of these risers in and covered them all up. This is just basically to give me some ledging some ledges and stuff to work on inside the mountain. On the inside edges of the ledges, I can put my rock sheets that I'm going to be putting up here, my boulders and such. Since I didn't set the track up to do it, I'll just take my time now and make sure at every level that it's good. I'm getting close to being able to put the track on here though. Okay, just to give a indication of what's going on here, these things were perfectly level, and all I did was put this stuff on the top and just lightly smooth over the top of it with sandpaper, and you can see it's out. It's out. It's out everywhere. I worked this over here a little bit, best I can get it, and it just looks like at every step, everything that you do influences whether that thing is level, which makes sense, but you know, there's got to be a way to fix it. I started working right in here and it's unlevel, but I started getting all the way down back into the foam again, because this stuff apparently was, as it's dried, it's shrunk and moved this riser a little bit. I can't get any more down in there. This is gonna have to be leveled up with some plaster. Well, to get this thing leveled back up again, I've had to paintbrush another layer of hydrocal on top of all this, and it gives me something to play with to get it level. I got this one over here looking really good all the way around. You know, it's just a matter of getting it dry, whether you wet sand it or dry sanded it. It's looking pretty good all around this side over here now. I just did my paintbrush full of hydrocal and the rest of it here. I'm just gonna let it dry and work it here in a little while. Okay, well, you see that after the plastering, after I did all the plastering on this thing, every one of these track levels was unlevel again. So at every point that I've done something and leveled it and moved to the next point, it's been off again. Now, I don't know whether I'm just being overly cautious or not, but I'm making these things, I'm not, it's gonna be level. So I had one of the subscribers talk to me about finishing them with some drywall mud, some hot drywall mud. I tried some regular one. The only difference between hot and the regular one is the green bucket one is that it's just not fast drying. But I used the drywall mud, and these things are nice and smooth, and I've got them all pretty daggum level, about as level as you're gonna get them. And I did that to all the tracks all the way around. Then let me show you what I did. So I went ahead and installed my foam row bed down. And of course, I want to check level again, because I know underneath this it's level. And I install this, and let's see what we got. She's level there a little bit, and all of a sudden, take a look. Out of whack. Now, at every point, I've made sure this thing ended at level. And somehow, I'm still coming up with some spots that are just out of level. Especially on this front straightaway. It's totally almost full bubble off one side. Not quite. But you could tell that it's like chasing a rabbit down a hole. I don't know that you're ever going to get perfect level, but the only thing I could do is try. Do you need to? Do you even need it that level? That's pretty level. And so I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to chase this rabbit. I'm going to go ahead and put all this foam on and make sure there's no obvious stuff, but I'm going to put the foam down. And yes, by the way, I am putting it down with a card that's been notched a little bit. So the glue is not real thick and gobby underneath this that I'm using. I'm actually using, it's called Yeah, let's see. Because I may want to take it up, and it was suggested that I use this Alex Plus clear. The clear, you can see through it, so you can see your dots when you're putting the stuff down. And it secures it really well, but you can get underneath it to make some adjustments pretty easy, and it ain't gonna come up. So my plan as it is, I'm gonna go ahead and put all this stuff down, and then I'm gonna put the track on, and then I'm gonna worry about the level, because at the end, if I would have done nothing and just kind of kept it kind of level, I would end up having to do the same thing anyway. Once I got to the track, I'd have had to level it there too. So really, I think I just wasted 2 weeks. And I hope it's not a waste, but it took 2 weeks to get this thing to this point. And with a little bit of the time and a lot of frustration, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it all the way on, and then I'm gonna put the track on, and I'll figure it from there. Okay, that's the rabbit hole. See you on the next one.